I sent numerous websites, videos of this clown that you call a president, dealings with the Russian mafia, which he's dealt with for decades. And somehow the intelligence community, CIA, NSA, MI5, MI6, FBI, law enforcement, Congress, Supreme Court, Senate committees, your complacency and inept ignorance and stupidity is truly indicative now. When you have a so-called president going to having a meeting in Helsinki and supporting a criminal Russian mafia oligarch KGB agent. And y'all like a bunch of incompetent, complacent sheep just sit there and say nothing. Few of you come out, speak of your disdain and disgust. This ludicrous, mental ill, adolescent tweeting toddler cowers like a spineless Sooner dog, puts his tails between the legs and says nothing. And you wonder why this country is in the deep sewer, swamp cesspool of uncivilized immorality that it is. Because you're weak. Because you're weak. And you're cowards. And you have the gall to talk about patriotism. You got the gall to talk about take up arms, militia. And yet you have a man who flaunts his criminality, traitor, treasonous actions against your so-called America, and you do nothing. But yet and still, you got a group of black men who kneel because they don't salute the national anthem, pathological lies, a constitution on a piece of wasted paper, a flag, false flag that doesn't represent anything but pirates, treason, terrorists, thieves, pirates, immoral, inhumane, theft and genocide of a country. And that's indicative of what we see today, of what we see in Helsinki. Because your history repeats itself. A bunch of spineless cowards who go and support your enemies and your foes. And that's okay. Because you know why? In your Republican Party, in your Democratic Party, in your law enforcement, in your intelligence, nobody has the balls to stand up against it. That's why Putin isn't afraid. That's why Putin will use any action that he can to show just how weak and cowardice you are. The whole trade wars, the embarrassment of your allies, the disrespect, the disregard of civil, moral, ethical actions of diplomacy that is non-existent in this government anymore. which in all intents and purposes is a terrorist regime. Because you allow the scum of the earth, criminal, tax evader, money laundering, racketeering, default loans, endless bankruptcies, Chapter 11, extortionist, pathological liar, adolescent tweeting, moron, to just run rampant without any accountability. And you sit there and in your complacency of political correctness. Now you have a full-blown Russian spy implicating the NRA in this whole campaign fraud, and nobody wants to say it, and nobody has the guts or balls to say it. It's a fraud. It's a scam. The whole Republican campaign with this clown, and you continue to perpetrate the pathological lies because you don't want to realize just what's really going on. You make excuses. You do anything to cover up your criminality, like you always done down through history, and it hasn't changed. And the worst part of it is that nobody in this country has the balls or ethics or honor to speak out against it, like they did in England when this clown went to see the Queen. Now they rebelled. They showed just how much disgust and disdain and lack of respect they have for this monkey. But rather to exploit it, rather to hold him accountable, put handcuffs on his ass and send him to prison. In fact, no, send him to prison because he committed treason. Put his ass against a wall and shoot him, just like what we do for people who commit treason. How can you publicly deny exactly what overwhelming facts have shown Russia's involvement in election fraud and a campaign against another presidential candidate, that you talk about emails, but yet and still under Bush and Cheney administration, you had 22 million deleted emails and private servers. Somehow in this terrorist criminal Republican Party, that doesn't matter. And you've done this for decades and centuries. You only see what you want to see. And the problem I have with that is you're so-called fake-ass American people, that you're so caught up in your own narcissistic self-preservation that you're not concerned with anything. The only thing you're concerned with getting up every day, your millennial children living in your basements, living off mom and dad, your toys, your mindless recreation, vacation, your homes, your cars, your debt, your technological toys, that you're just mindlessly lost in consumerism. And you're mindlessly lost in pathological lies and propaganda of something that never existed since the day that you landed in the Americas. And you got some dumbass statue of liberty, you got some false flag flying, you got some blind bitch statue of what you call justice, which is because under theft and genocide, justice doesn't exist. Law enforcement doesn't exist. And nobody gets that. Nobody has the common basic intelligence to understand that you can't steal something, slaughter, massacre innocent people, and then talk about something that's lawful. It's just oxymoron and outright and that stupidity of any law school, of any lawmakers or legislation or Congress or Supreme Court to even exist in an environment of theft and genocide. And it's an insult to intelligent people that you can even talk about justice, even talk about law enforcement in an environment of theft and genocide. I can't conceive that so-called intelligent people, that you try to somehow manipulate a society built on theft and genocide of innocent people. Not only did you genocide a race of people, you put what was left as an example of your inhumane, barbaric, heathenist crimes, put these people on reservations in their own country. Now, that's just sick. It's sick that you have historical examples of Native Americans, and it pisses me off because I'm part Native American, that you have examples of your crimes looking you square in the face for decades and centuries. And somehow you can justify that. I don't get that. I just don't. I can't even fathom how intelligent, moral, humane people could even exist in an environment like that, let alone for decades and centuries. And then force people into slavery, build your White House, build your Capitol Hill, and yet and still you want to talk about freedom and justice for all and equality and talk about a democracy. You enslave people and you want to talk about a democracy? You want to talk about freedom and liberty? Statue of Liberty? When you force people in slavery? And that's just not black folk. That's like Irish people, Chinese people, and other ethnic groups under a racist, bigoted, terrorist regime of disease, European, barbarian heathens. That's just something that is innately true, and nobody wants to like face up to it. Nobody wants to face the facts. and I tell myself every day, it's like nobody can be that stupid. You can't. Nobody can be that naive, gullible to believe the garbage what you see on TV, what you hear, and sit in the comforts of your home and look at your children, look at your family at your dinner tables or wherever the case may be, and somehow not be disgusted, not be appalled of the criminality that's going on right before your eyes today. And Helsinki is a prime example of what I'm talking about. I'm just shocked. I am. That people could be so ineptly stupid and not see what's going on. And that's your intelligent community too. Mueller, Senate Committee, Congress, Supreme Court. What kind of people are you? Really? Tell me, what kind of civilized humanity would allow such things to go on? And to top it all off, you got infants, toddlers, children in cages. What species, even animals in a jungle, instinctively just go by their instincts, protect their young, protect their babies. But here in the fake ass America, you cage them like animals. And somehow you justify that. Sick, mentally disturbed, delusional, pathological liars, sickness. The only thing you can even imagine of the stupidity that's going on in this fake ass country. Stupid. I mean, outright stupid. And you have people going to and fro like ants, oblivious to what's going on around you. And that is the reason why the New World Order is going to take over society. Because you have people that are so innately stupid and see what's going on today, and you do nothing. Just sit there in that complacent, narcissistic, self-preservation, all about me environment. And you don't even care. Your children getting killed in school. Oh, for the moment that it happens, you're concerned. You're go out there and you'll protest. But weeks pass, it goes back to the same insane, ludicrous, ridiculous, pathetic, uncivilized actions that you do every day. They take the lives of your children, and it still doesn't care to you. It doesn't matter, regardless of what goes on. It's like you're in a state of delusionism. You're in a state of such mental illness that nothing matters to you. There's no reaction. And you can see the criminality of this terrorist regime in Washington, D.C. and Capitol Hill. You're oblivious. Normality is gone. Humanity is gone. Anytime your children get slaughtered, anytime babies and toddlers and children are locked up in cages, and you call this a civilized society? It's barbaric heathen. Barbaric heathenism. Where are all your advocates? Where are all your civil liberty militia, these gun-toting monkeys who talk about, oh, America, I love America. Where are you when all this mess is going on? Where are you? Like it was during the British Tea Party, the rebellion that went on. What happened? Where are all those militias now? One is by land, one is by sea. Y'all funny, man. Y'all are just like, it's so stupid. It's funny. And when people talk about it, your whistleblowers and people come out and expose it, you're conspiracy theorists. You're conspiracy theorists. It's like that stuff don't matter. I got a adolescent tweeting McDonald eating monkey up there kissing Putin's ass, and it's like that doesn't matter. Having a secret meeting that nobody knows what's going on. I can tell you what's went on. I can tell you what goes on in those meetings. Putin is telling them, we own your ass and your family because of all the debt that we bought. When nobody in the world would touch your ass because you owed so much money, that you owed so much debt, that you defraud so many banks, you defraud so many creditors, businesses, that you had to go to Russia. George Beck. And that's a man. I don't have a master's degree. I don't have a doctorate degree. That's just common sense. You don't need a doctorate degree. You don't need a bachelor's degree to understand the criminality that's going on in this fake ass country. You just need common sense, which nobody in this country has anymore, let alone morals or ethics. It's like when I go to work, see homeless people just drive by. Old lady sitting on a corner. Old people working in Walmart because they can't afford their medicine. A woman can hardly walk, working at Walmart. Old guys bent over, pushing carts in a parking lot or a grocery store because they can't afford to live on Social Security, which you terrorist monkeys stole from. It almost bankrupt that system, Medicaid and Social Security. That's the point that bothers me, and I don't care what anybody tells me. All y'all that tell me, you need to shut up, it's gonna be, it's been going on, blah 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 blah. You know something? That's the attitude why it's been going on for decades and centuries, because nobody holds anybody accountable anymore. Hey, when something happened, it's like the tax on the British tea. People got pissed off. They revolted. They just went out and militia and had a war with Britain. But nowadays, y'all just become a bunch of spineless cowards. It doesn't matter what happens. Like I reiterate, they can kill your kids and y'all ain't gonna do nothing. You're just cowards. I'll call it as I see it. You're cowards. Somebody hurt one of my children. And I don't care who you are. And I don't care how high up in this country you are. You hurt my kids. You better go to some remote place in the world because I will hunt you down and destroy your ass. Bank on that one. But somehow they can go into a school, kill your kids, and y'all don't care. The same Justice Department that allow terrorist percentage of cops that goes out there and just shoot down people like it's nothing. And you have law enforcement training to shoot and ask questions later. What is that? Shoot and ask questions later? But in Lily White America, it's different. That's exactly what I'm talking about. That's exactly what I'm talking about. And you want to talk about red, white, and blue and constitutions and democracy, but you shoot down people like animals. And nobody's held accountable. Nobody goes to prison. Except a percentage of sacrificial lambs. I don't know, dude. I don't I don't get it. I just don't. You gotta laugh because it's that pathetic. It's that ludicrous. It's that ridiculous. It's that inhumanely, ineptly stupid that this stuff goes on in front of intelligent people. You're not. See, that's the point of it is. You're not intelligent. I got because intelligent people, stuff like that wouldn't go on. You're a bunch of reprobates. And if you don't know what a reprobate is, look it up. Look up the word reprobate. And that's exactly what fake ass American people are, reprobates. Because anything like that cannot be going on unless somebody has lost their freaking mind in this country. And the straw that broke the camel's back, as they say, is Helsinki. Right before God and everybody, this adolescent tweeting McDonald eating moron just chose Russia over America. Mueller, MI5, MI6, CIA, NSA, FBI. What are y'all going to do? Put your tail between your legs and run? Like you're doing? Because you sure ain't holding up the law. Because law doesn't exist. Like I said, in a stolen country, massacre, slaughter, pillaging, raping, genocide, you're indicative. You're proving that. Because when real criminals do real crime, you do nothing. And you got a criminal for a president. So somehow, unless something drastic happens in this country, you people are never going to wake up. Something drastic has to happen. The only time you people are going to realize anything, devastation has to come. It's just like Egypt. And I remembered when Moses went, he said, that might pretty much, he said, hell no. Famine, all kind of things happened. Pharaoh said, hell no. Now, something happened to his children. That's the only time Pharaoh broke. Told Moses to take your people and get out of Egypt. Now, pretty much the same thing's going to have to happen to the fake ass America. Devastation is going to have to happen. Where all you're in your little comfortable, your narcissistic environment is disrupted in concentration camps. Or those who know anything about what's coming, you're going to escape. You're going to go into the mountains and find refuge. But you narcissistic, compliant, conformed, brainwashed monkeys are going to be just like those babies and those toddlers and those children locked up in concentration camps. Mark my word. A storm is coming. And that storm is going to be devastating. Prepare yourself.